Hello everybody! I'm not really in the mood to do book reviews or wrap-ups right now, so I thought I would just pop in and let you know what I'm currently reading and what my plans are for July, and then at some point when I am in the mood, I'll get around to telling you what I've actually been reading, which has been a lot actually. I will talk to you about that in a minute. So yeah, the first thing about July and kind of like the first week of August as well is that I'm going to be taking time off. I've been very stressed and out of sorts recently. I think it's sort of the culmination of all of the things that have happened in the last 6 months. 2020 has been a very harsh and unforgiving year, and it's been really affecting my mental health and how I feel about a lot of things. And I realized I hadn't taken any time off of work really so far this year. When you go 6 months and you've only had 3 days of vacation, and those were for like sick days, no wonder I have not been feeling great. So I'll be taking some actual vacation time in July to coincide with the virtual Worldcon at the end of the month, and then some time off after that just to do whatever the heck I want. And for all of July, I will just be making videos sporadically when I feel like it, nothing on schedule or whatever. Because that's another thing that I really don't want to stress out about right now, and I don't want to force myself to talk when I'm not really feeling super chatty about things. But all that being said, what am I currently reading? What am I doing in the month of July? I'm currently reading 4 books. My audiobook right now is Dragon Pearl by Yoon-Ha Lee. I have checked this book out from the library multiple times, the hardcover copy, the ebook copy, and I never read it. So I finally just got the audiobook and started listening to it while I was knitting socks, and I'm a third of the way through it and I can safely say I'm going to finish it now. It's not my favorite thing ever. I've certainly enjoyed other things by Yoon-Ha Lee a lot more, and I think it's simply a matter of this being a middle grade novel, and I'm finding the main character to be a little bit too impetuous in her decision making. That seems to be something that bugs me a lot in books right now. I am also reading How to Be an Antiracist by Ibram X. Kendi. I am buddy reading this with Shannon from That's So Poe, which has been very good. We're taking it slowly and only reading one chapter per day, so it will take us about 3 weeks to finish it. And this is the first book I've ever read on racial issues, on social justice issues, and so it's a very different experience for me. I feel like a little infant trying to learn a lot of things all at once. And I'm very glad I have somebody to talk to about it, because it's been a very informative and educational and challenging book, and Shannon is an excellent person to buddy read this sort of thing with. So thank you to Shannon. I've also started reading The Essential Gwendolyn Brooks. This is a poetry collection. Gwendolyn Brooks was an African-American poet that I never heard her name, but I was looking up Black poets specifically, and as I was trying to find people I never heard of before, like I have read Langston Hughes before, and I came across Brooks and realized she wrote the We Too Cool poem, which has stuck in my head ever since elementary school, and I had no idea who she was. So I found this Essential collection on Overdrive, and I've just started reading it, and I think it's gonna be really good. And the last thing that's on my currently reading shelf is Sunspot Jungle Volume 2, edited by Bill Campbell. I said I was going to finish this by the end of June. Obviously that did not happen, but I'm still reading from it every once in a while. I will finish it eventually, and still really enjoying this particular volume a lot. Far more than the first volume. This has got like a lot more science fiction in it and authors that I really, really like. And then after that, I'm gonna be reading a lot of stuff from the library. So on Friday, this past Friday, I was just like, I'm gonna read all the shortest things on my Goodreads TBR. There's no particular reason for this, but I have recently learned how to sort things on Goodreads by page count. So I was curious, and I was sorting my want to read list on Goodreads from like least amount of pages to most amount of pages, and I was like, There are so many short works on my TBR that I want to read, and I have never gotten around to because I'm always prioritizing longer works instead. So I just went through from the absolute shortest ones and made a list of all the ones I knew I could get my hands on. It's a lot of comics that I can get from Hoopla, a lot of short collections like the Outspoken Authors collections from PM Press that I can also get on Hoopla, a lot of poetry collections, and a lot of novellas. And I've just been blasting my way through a bunch of these. Just anything I can get from the library right away or that I have like a copy of on my Kindle. And this has been really fun. At first I felt like it was cheating because, you know, you read a whole bunch of things in a single day and it really like bumps up your Goodreads challenge number and all of that. But the thing is that these are all works that I've wanted to read for a long time. Some of them have been on my TBR for years. And it counts. Like if you want to read them and you enjoy reading them, it counts. It doesn't matter how long they are. So I'm doing that. I made a preliminary list of like 15 of the shortest works that I knew I could get right away, and then once I have finished those, I've made another list of shortest works by authors of color on my TBR, which I will also be doing. Some of those will be a little bit harder to get because I had to wait for like interlibrary loans and things like that. I'm trying really hard to not buy any books in July. I'm probably gonna have to buy one book because I don't think I'll be able to get it from the library in time for a buddy read, but everything else I'm going to really try to do like interlibrary loans for if my local libraries don't have a copy, because I'm very grateful my libraries are open for business again and interlibrary loans are a thing again. So we'll see how it goes. But I plan on doing this for like the first half of July, just reading through so many of these short things. And then at the end of the month, there's going to be the Reading Rush, which was formerly known as the Booktubeathon, and I'll be doing that again. And at that point, I'll be focusing on reading more of my owned books again. I always try to read a bunch of things from my physical TBR for the Reading Rush. I always build my TBR around what I own first. And then I have some more buddy reads and things lined up that I'll be reading more of my physical books for. So there's a chance that I might get my physical TBR down to like 25 books by the end of July. I'm thinking about making that like a mini goal for myself, because my ultimate goal for the entire year is to get my TBR down to 20. And that is really attainable right now. I'm very excited. So that's pretty much my plans right now. Read a bunch of short works, participate in the Reading Rush at the end of the month, and just take time off to do other things, enjoy my vacation, and not focus on like making all the videos all the time and everything. The thing that usually happens when I take a break from YouTube is that after about a week, I suddenly really want to make videos again, and then I make a whole bunch of them. We'll see if that happens again this time. I think it would be really funny if it did. Anyway, that is pretty much it for me. I hope you've had a good weekend. It was the 4th of July weekend here in the US, and where I live there are a lot of fireworks. I just got done cleaning a lot of debris out of my front yard. Just everybody else, all their fireworks landed in my yard, I guess. So it was very loud, and I'm kind of glad that it was over, but I've really enjoyed the long holiday weekend. So I hope you enjoyed it as well, wherever you are in the world. And I'll be back to talk to you again eventually. And until then, bye.